Good morning, my family. I'm sure everything's working. We're here. We are in business. Hello. All right, all right, all right. I'm going to say hi to everyone. I'll get the comments up. It's a little slow today. There we go. Good morning, Enid. Chris Mendoza. Good morning. So, how's everyone today? Let's see. So, Paige. Hello. Paige, we're gonna have you be the AI investigator. So when we see ads like the one that we saw in the room, you could give like your 2 cents and be like, give a discerning breakdown critique on, well, you see the hand position, the fact that it has 6 fingers, and the fact that it has 2 thumbs and 3 elbows lets you know that this is AI and it wasn't done too well. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Linda. Adjust the lighting a bit so that I look a little brighter. Oh, wow, that's really bright lighting. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our MoB Kaffeeklatsch episode 133. I don't have any openers or closers here today, so it's me. Dolly's out hanging out with the little one. She's picking up the girls early today, the Valkyries. So that's gonna be fun. So I'm flying semi-solo. Chris, our technomancer, is in the background doing his things. He's in the force. He's doing things from a distance. Good morning, Mary Beth. Welcome. Yeah, I figured the way you broke it down, Paige, for that one ad that's in the. Okay, first of all, it just looks like Keanu and somebody else. I don't know. It was a weird looking ad to begin with. I thought it was pretty interesting, but it just reminded me of Keanu. But I thought the way you broke it down was really good. You said, you broke down the composition of it, which was really interesting. How many people we have? Oh, 6. So, let's see. Make sure everybody knows where we are. Where we are. Here. It's gonna be. It might be a small group today. Let's see. Usually the notices that go out to everyone. Go out to everything, other stuff. So let me just create a quick post. You guys can still see it, I hope. We are live. This is the stuff like when you're making the hot dogs, you don't know what's in it. This is the stuff that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't see. Take it up. Let's see. Okay, they will find us. They will find us. Is it kind of garbled? It could be. It was acting a little funky this morning. Yeah, we're having weird weather here, so it's kind of weird. And low. Let me see if the mic is closer. How's that? Morning, Tanya. Hello, welcome. So check your connections. Usually when it's garbled and low, it's not so much on our end, but yeah, it's sounding a bit garbled. I'm on a LAN connection, so the weather is. Hey, Dolly, the weather is kind of crazy here today. So, yeah, I apologize for that. Welcome, Cindy. It's snowing. I haven't even looked outside to know that it's snowing. Jeez. Hopefully this is better. I put it much closer, the mic, so hopefully you guys get better. I'll pick it up better. Let me check what we're looking at in terms of the weather. It said rain, but now it's actual snow. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm glad it's better. If it gets any closer, it's gonna be my face. Let me show you how close it is. It's that close. So hopefully that sounds better. It will be. Don't worry, Linda. Don't worry. It will be. It will be. I'm glad it's better. Thank you guys for the feedback. Try to make the show as awesome as possible. You know. Oh yes. How cold? Oh yeah, it's cold for you guys, Cindy. Right? Welcome, Chris Mendoza, our resident technomancer. Hope your situation is good. You're doing what you got to do. Thanks for dropping in. I know you're busy doing stuff. All right, so I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna try and move without getting smacked in the head with this mic. Let's start off with our author. We support our indie author. So let's start off with our author promos real quick. Here we go. The first one. Just gotta grab it. I'm doing everything solo today, so bear with me. This is our first one. It's John. Let me put it up. Is acting a little funky today. Ooh, 40. That's cold. Yeah, Linda, we're sending it to you. You know we're sending it to you. I don't know what's going on with this. It's acting kind of funky. Let's see if I can post it. There we go. All right, let's do this. It's moving slow, but it's moving. So our first author today is John Corwin. Oh, thank you. First author today is John Corwin. Let me post it up. Yeah, definitely acting a little slow today. So, Family Business, a psychological thriller. This is the link. We support our indie author. Ooh, 19 degrees. You shouldn't even be allowed to say those degrees out loud. That's just like painful. 19 degrees. 19 degrees, when you go outside, everything hurts at 19 degrees. That's just scary. So this is our first author, John Corwin. Indie author. He's known for his Cthulhu stuff. So please go get his stuff. All these links will be up in the mob afterwards, of course. So there you go. That's my first one. Morning, Laura. Our next author, we'll cue it up real quick. I feel like I need game show music on this. There's Stephen Michaels. See if I can put him in. Yeah, I should have fed the squirrels this morning. It's the name of the title is Enter the Subconscious. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Enter the Subconscious. Let's see. Here we go. It's a horror. It's horror. So I don't really do much horror, but it's indie author, and so we support our indie authors, and therefore, here you go. Stephen Michaels, he's new. He's a new indie author, and show him some support. If you like horror, if you're a big Stephen King fan, if you're into this kind of stuff, here you go. A new author. Let's give him some support and show him that he's not alone out there. That's what it feels like sometimes when you're doing that first book. It really feels like you're alone. Okay, let's see. We got Rick Gualtieri. You guys are all familiar with Rick. Is our next author. Here we go. Thank you. I appreciate it. And our next author, even though internet acting funky. Rick Gualtieri, Time Chaser. He's on Amazon. It's a lit RPG. This is I think this is a little new for Rick to be doing a lit RPG. It's a whole different genre for him. So yeah, it's telling me some of my things are having errors. It's really weird. On Facebook, that is, at least. Okay. Let's continue. We deal with the technical difficulties. Please stand by. Okay, and the next one is A.D. Starling. You guys all know A.D.? And then we can be done with our promos for the. Let's get these linked up. This is how you see things happen behind the scenes. Okay, let's see. Okay, so she has a Christmas reunion. If I'm not mistaken. This is a Christmas reunion. Christmas reunion. This is a fun Christmas reunion short story in the 17 universe. Go get it. It's a little short, and it's for Christmas. So we support our indie authors. Those were our indie authors. You see, I have any comments? You can check out any comments. Okay. If I missed anyone, hello. Let me give the official greeting. Huge shout out to everyone on YouTube. Thank you for being here. I know today's a little crazy because I'm kind of wearing all the hats, but it's fun. It's interesting, and it throws me back to when we first started our MoB Kaffeeklatsch. So that's kind of fun. Shout out to everyone on YouTube. You can find us at Bitten Peaches Publishing, and we also have our CWW episodes there, which are the Creative Warrior Wisdom. So the shorts that encapsulate a thought either by a well-known thought leader or stoic philosopher, something along those lines. And they're short, 5 minutes, 6 minutes the most. I don't think I've ever gone over 6 minutes. And basically, we're just trying to share some uplifting or inspirational or insightful thoughts to get you through your day. So that's the CWW. And I think today we're up to episode 88. So they've been going pretty far. I missed a few days. I'll get to that later because I had to go get a knee checked. And so took a few days off to kind of recover from that. It wasn't anything major. So it didn't require much recovery, really. But let me take this off of here. All right. So these authors, these promos will be on the MoB, in the MoB at some point later on today. So that's why I was Instagram at Ben Peaches. Starting the new year, I have a nice little kind of ideas set on how to get more. I guess I want to say more present on Instagram. Although I'm pretty present there in terms of my own things, but I'm going to try and get more present in terms of the Ben Peaches stuff. So we'll do that as well. And just so you guys know, this is the last MoB Kaffeeklatsch of 2024. Can't believe this year's over. The next one is going to be Jan 3rd, which is next year. Wow. It's amazing. All right. We also have, so on Instagram, we're at Ben Peaches. On Zazzle, we're at M&S. We have BMANDES is our store on Zazzle. And, you know, it's swag. If you need swag, that's where your swag is. So you go there, go to Zazzle, pick up some swag. It's Christmas time soon, I guess, for many of us. It's gift yourself a gift or celebrate the new year with some M&S swag, because I think that's the perfect way to usher in a new year or to end this year with some amazing swag by our lead designer. So do that. Let's see. I don't see us having any new Patreon right now, but I just want to give a shout out to all of you for at the end of this year, because it's Christmas. The links in the chat. Which links? Oh yeah, well, we'll start putting up the links. Sure, don't worry. In a moment, in a moment. They'll be up soon. I just want to thank all of you who supported all of us for this year, and then as long as I've been writing, in terms of Patreon and in terms of just getting the books and reading and feedback and the art. And just want to give you all a huge, huge thank you. I looked up because I remember the camera being up there, but now the camera's not here. So I kind of have to rearrange that. So yeah, so thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate it. And it's important to me, it's important to what we're doing, it's important to our Bitten Peaches, and I know it's important to Donald. So thank you so much for your support as a reader And as a patron, if you've gone above and beyond just being a reader, because even though that's really important being a reader, but as a patron, I really want to thank you for stepping outside the box and supporting us. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful holidays. We've got a few coming up. Let's see what else do we have. What are we from? And let's get to what's going on, guys. How are you? And I'm gonna move this light just a bit because it's really getting annoying. Okay, that's better. In my eyes, I'm getting blinded. Okay, I can have YouTube in a corner of myself while in the FP chat. That's awesome. I hope the wait's not too long, Chris. Last time when I was in the hospital a few days ago, what's today? Friday? Wednesday. I went. Um, it was it was a fairly long wait, but not too bad. We got to a really great hospital, so it was okay. All right, so let me just get that out of the way real quick so everybody knows what it is. My knee was acting funky. I didn't, and I've been resisting because I'm male. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there, right? And as I was explaining to Dolly, because she had told me a few times, just get it checked, get it looked at least that way you know what it is. And I resisted because I'm thinking, I know what this is. This is me training hard. This is me overdoing stuff. This is me, getting older and I'm getting into all that wear and tear and all that. So I resisted going to get it checked out, only because I was just being stubborn. Because that's, I guess it's a guy, right? I already got this figured out. I know what it is. I know what I need to do. Easy. It's easy. I'll just manage this, and this. Wasn't easy, and it kept coming back. It was a recurring. What would happen is that my knees would flare up. They would get inflamed, and it would limit my mobility. So there goes the training. Because I row, I can't row if I can't bend my knees, or my ankle would swell up. And I'm saying, what could I possibly be doing that's creating this much trauma that my body is swelling up, like without any real major trauma or injury to it? It's just, you can't be just walking or training the way I train, because I've been doing this for years. Then when we went and we spoke to I guess it's a PA or an NP, one of those two. She said, "Oh, that sounds like gout." It's like gout. So I had been researching it because Dolly and I had started trying to figure out what exactly it is. So I have to change my diet. Hello, Michelle. Popping in. That's great. Thank you for coming in, Michelle, even if it's for a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment, Heather. I'll ask some questions about that. I'm just going to give this update and then we'll continue. And so it was gout. It's gout so far. So one of the things that triggers gout, I did not know this, was creatine. And I had been on creatine for years back when I was lifting heavy. I was taking 5 grams of creatine every day, like religiously, So the creatine does it. The eating certain meats does it. It builds up the uric acid, and then you get these wonderful little crystals that form and lodge themselves in your joints. And it's like, now your joints aren't going to move without pain and inflammation. You're like, So if you really want to know what gout is, you can look it up. It's really simple. You got to drink a lot of water. Fortunately, I can still drink my coffee. This is really important. And I have to drink a lot of water. And I got to change my diet a little bit. No more real red meat and stuff like that. So it's some adjustment, but it's nothing too crazy. So that is what I'm dealing with. That's what I've been dealt with. And they gave me some meds. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. What did you guys think about? What did you think about cold front, Heather? If you have any real questions, any other questions about the gout and stuff like that, I'm more than willing to answer them too. And just to let you guys know, Dust Blader, which was supposed to be done, why did I say it's going to be done? It's supposed to be done Monday. I've been kind of holding off on finishing it because I'm at the end. I mean, like, this is like the last major fight, I think, is where we're at right now. I've been resisting a little bit only because I want to make sure it ends the right, you know what I mean? It has to end the right way. So I've been a little bit kind of like, okay, how do I position this? And And gray is involved, so I gotta make sure it's going right, you know. Yeah, I was told. So they did X-rays, and I have very mild arthritis, very mild arthritis in the knee. But that's because I lived a crazy young life. Yikes, it was crazy. Don't worry about it, Laura. Take your time, read at your pace, and you enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, so I did a kind of a lot of research on the reading on the gout itself and how it's crystals that it's in there, and it's like, ouch, it's not good, and it's amazing how those little things could mess you completely up. It's crazy. It is crazy. So I'll just I'll make sure I take care of it for sure. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm feeling better now. They gave me some. They gave me. I'm looking at them now. Prednisone and 20 milligrams and colchicine. So supposedly those things are supposed to work. It seems like it's working. So yeah. See, Heather's saying it loved it. Makes me wonder about Nexus events and fuzzy knots in the multi. Yeah, it's like the fuzzy knots is a good way to describe it for sure. Can you guys hear me fine? I don't want to lean forward and then lose the volume. Also, cutting out certain food will help. Yes. Yeah. And sugar. I try not to eat much sugar, but yeah, my coffee is without sugar now. And it's just making modifications. So it's basically it's a toss up. Do I want the pain, or do I want to be able to train and move and have full mobility and not have to walk around? I was actually at this point. It got so bad this last time. It's gotten bad before, but this last time it got so bad. I was using a cane. I have a cane right here. Right? It's actually a walking stick. It's a shillelagh. So this is one solid piece of wood. And I used to use it to go walk. I used to be, walking in the street when it was nice because it was just, but I had to use it. I had to actually use it. And I was like, wow, okay, this is. I think that's part of what made me say, okay, you really gotta get this looked at because it's been happening for so long. Go, don't be a stubborn head. Go. So and Donnie gave me some serious side eye, like, just go. Why can't you just go? You're right. Why can't I just go? Let me just go. All right. Let's move on. So if you have any questions about the gout, you can ask me and how I dealt with it and how I overcame gout. It's like it's not none of your kind of stuff. Like the guy, if you saw my CWW this morning, there was an orderly named Dean, and we had a really kind of deep conversation about how no matter how hard, how bad you think you're going, whatever it is you're going through, there's someone out there who's going through worse. And it really brings it into perspective sometimes. So I'm saying, oh, I had gout. Gout is like, minor compared to some of the things people go through. And I saw people in the hospital who were like going through some major stuff. So it puts your situation into perspective. And to give you a little bit of what the story that Dean told me was, this guy who was despairing, he was going to end it all, said, and all he had was a banana. And he said, I'm going to eat this banana and I'm going to end it all. He eats his banana and he savors it. It's the last meal he's going to have. And he takes the peel, he throws it on the ground, and then someone takes the peel and starts eating it. And it made the guy who was going to end it all because he only had a banana reconsider and say, wow, I thought my life was bad. I'm eating just a banana, but that person's eating the peel when I threw away. So there you go. So no matter how hard, how rough, how difficult things may be, someone else may be having it much harder than you. So it's always good to put those things in perspective, right? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Michelle's like, let me make sure everybody's up to date, right? I'm not missing any talks. It's like I don't want to miss anything in the chat. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. I will do what needs to get done, and I have a follow up meet with an orthopedic surgeon or doctor at some point, so I got to do that as well. So I'll be doing all that stuff. Okay. Saints and monks it's kind of right now paused. I know everyone's waiting for it. It's being written. It will be written this month, and it's gonna have to come in early Jan or mid Jan around there, and there'll be an art for it. Saints and Monks is kind of in the pause. Simon's getting pebbled and training and learning. I want to kind of make this book a little robust, thicker than the usual. Usually it's 50K. I think I might want to go to maybe 70 or 80 for this one, only because it feels like one of those training montage books, like in the movie when they have those training montages where the heroes are learning how to fight and all that. This kind of feels that way, but more of on a philosophical, deeper level. And some of these concepts have to be explained in a way that do justice to the theory itself, but also to Simon and Monty as characters. And also it's showing Simon and Peach's growth and deeper bonding. I want to kind of take time with that. So it might be a little longer than normal, and that's okay. But I have to make sure that it kind of fits within the series in a way that doesn't detract from everything else. Plus, they're facing stronger enemies, and I have to make sure that what they learn is going to help them deal with what's coming at them, because it is major. All right. If you guys are answering, let me know, because I'm not seeing the text move, and I don't know if it's because it's something on my end or because I have something that says an error occurred, but I don't know. Somebody say something so I can see that you guys are here and entering, and that I'm not stuck somewhere. Let me see. That's good. I have all destinations. Okay, sounds good. So that's what I want to do. Somebody text something real quick so I know that you're here. Let me check on the other. All right, awesome, Paige. Thank you, appreciate it. So that's what's going on with. Thank you, Dolly. Okay, it's not moving. Yeah, it was weird because it seemed stuck, like there was an error somewhere, but it's moving now. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Dolly, for commenting. Fantastic. Audrey, awesome. So I kind of want to make this story a little longer, and thank you, Mary Beth. So because the Valkyries, like there's a school break now, I think I have a little bit more time to devote to Saints and Monks and make it a really fun story, and also make it a deep story. And there's some characters I want to introduce that this would be ideal. This story would be ideal to introduce them in and have fun with them and kind of develop them a little bit more so that they kind of show up later on and you'll know where they kind of stepped into the story. So Saints and Monks is kind of paused, also because Dustblader is going to be done this week and latest because it's got to get out. And Dustblader, which was supposed to be 30K, it's supposed to be a novella, is currently sitting at, I would say 37, 38K. I don't know what to say. This one, it was supposed to be a quick, tight, lean, mean story. You know, Dustblader character she's amazing, tough as nails. It's almost like if you took Simon and Monty and Gray and squished them together and sprinkled in Coda and maybe TK, and it's just like she's an amalgam of a lot of characters, and she's tough and she has a different ability than anyone in the Monty and Strong world, right? I'm not gonna say it because it would spoil the story, but it was supposed to be a lean, mean story. Like boom, 30K, crank that out, done. I'm at 37K, and now I'm just finally reaching the final epic fight, what I call the epic fight. And this epic fight is gonna have so many twists and turns, and it's happening. Where's it happening again? Oh, it's in New York City, obviously, in the 69th Armory building. This is a building that I used to walk around often when I was going to college. My school was in uptown, and I would go downtown and I'd be walking around. It's a beautiful building. It's an old Armory building. It's huge, but it's in two sections. One section looks like an actual little fortress. Well, it's not little, it's half the block, half a New York City block. So one section looks like a fortress, and the other section is this dome kind of big. If you ever know anything about armories, it's like where they keep equipment. But now, since we don't keep actual tanks and things there, they have events, so they have tournaments and competitions and things. But it's a big, huge space in the middle of the city, which is awesome. So I'm using the fortress side of that building as the headquarters for a place. I can't say the name because it give some away. And Duskblader and Gray are just getting there now. It's the final epic confrontation, and that's going to be the rest, the remaining. I don't know. It was supposed to be a 30K book, and I had 37K. So right now I'm in what I call free fall. The free fall part of a book is whenever I have a quota and I blast past the quota, that's free fall. I don't know how long it's going to go. I don't think it's going to go much longer than 40K. But I can see this hitting 42. And it's no longer a novella. It's no longer a novella at 37K. But it's really no longer a novella at 40K, 47K, 45K. Because that's, for me, that's like a short novel. So we'll see. But will it get done this week? Oh, it's going to get done this weekend. Period. That's not even a question. It's like it's finished. And then we move to the setup for the next story is already in this story. But you got to read this story to find out what the setup for the next story is. I'm not going to say it because I would completely spoil it. But it's there. It's like right after this story, you get right to the next story. And there's a character in this story, in Duskblader's story, that you will immediately recognize, but it's a new character. I won't say anything else. No, there's a few new characters. And if you've been reading the Patreon, if you're in Patreon, which you should be, because you can join for free, you get free excerpts of Duskblader and everything else, obviously. And you'll learn about who these characters are. Welcome, Jennifer. Hello. Welcome to the Kaffeeklatsch. So there are new characters that are really interesting that will show up. I think I want to keep it in Duskblader's part of the M&S World. And that's one thing. I wonder if I can have a conversation with authors about compartmentalizing worlds, because it's an interesting concept. So I'm having all these different characters in the world of Montague and Strong. But what makes it really interesting is that the world is so unique and so diverse and so interesting and so multifaceted that I can have all these different characters in the same world and yet have their own sort of adventures within this world with very tenuous, like a very tenuous network where they kind of touch, but they don't exactly touch, and they're aware of each other, but they don't really need to interact. I guess I haven't really read Thieves' World, but I was thinking something along the lines like Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, or Marvel. Like if you go back to the comics and Marvel, and you have the different Earths, like Earth 66 or Earth 616. But even in one world, how they have a very large interconnected world where the characters know of each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they interact with each other. So to take it to the comic example, it's like how you have Daredevil. This is Marvel. You have Daredevil in Chelsea or Hell's Kitchen, but within that, and everyone knows that Hell's Kitchen is Daredevil's neighborhood. No one really goes in there without dealing with him. But in that same world, you have other characters that you have the X-Men, you have all these different characters. Or like in DC, you have Gotham City as Batman, Metropolis as Superman, and things like that. And so I was thinking, okay, we can take that macrocosm and shrink it just a little bit because everything is kind of contained within New York City. But New York City is such a large city, and it's very stratified. It can have different areas that you can have so many things happen within the same city because this city is immense, it's enormous. If you ever go to New York City and you stand, let's say, in Central Park, you can kind of get the feel of how large the city is around you, right? And yeah, you could do that. So yes, AD like that. It's a universe. I kind of hesitate to call it a universe, but I get it's definitely that feel. And if you have the 17 universe and 3 series that all universes all interconnected, and you have these these bridges between the characters and the universes. So I don't have different universes per se, but I have all these characters in the same city, living their lives, doing their things, aware, cognizant of each other, but at the same time dealing with their own things, and yet they're overarching entities and authorities that kind of influence and touch upon all of them, you know? Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing it, Paige, especially with Dust Bladers, and with the lead designers. Yes. So it's like, let's see, it's a bit like a Thieves World, but that was a multi-author project. Yeah, and no, like Duo. Yeah, in this case, it's not a multi-author project. It's just a multi-brain project. Like my brain is just doing different things all at once. So yeah, I think it's easier. We have multi-authors doing it. I think it's easier and harder because we have multi-authors. Everything has to mesh well. When it's one author, you then just have to make sure that everything there's a continuity issue that makes sure that everything kind of works. So yes, but I'm doing it. I'm in the process of doing it. I've been in the process of doing it since Monty and Strong started. I didn't think it was going to develop into something like that. But as I started writing Monty and Strong, other characters started coming to the forefront, being that the first one was really, when if I really want to think about it, the first one was Gray. And the dichotomy of Gray and Monty and Strong, where like Gray was on the streets at the lower level, the gritty level. Whereas Monty Strong dealt with like world-ending things. Gray kind of dealt with what's happening to the people on the street. You know, have I linked my existing series on Goodreads? Goodreads not good. I'm not much on Goodreads because the few times that I went on Goodreads, it was not a good experience. You know, so. But I think I guess I can go and check it out and link them because I know I do have a presence on Goodreads. I don't think I've linked any. I don't really go on Goodreads, but I know I have a presence. It's just been really toxic when I have gone there, so it's really weird. But I don't know. It's a very strange area. Goodreads. Let's see. Like, welcome, Wendy. He says, "Oh, I know it's like Jonathan Yannis is very psycho." I haven't read his books, but I hear that they're kind of they're kind of all connected. They like stand alone, but they're all connected, which is interesting. Yeah, Jennifer, I was a member of Goodreads when it was independent of Amazon, and once it became connected to Amazon, it it became toxic quick. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. It's like, why is anyone calling me? Someone's calling me. This is my sister calling me, and I have to be careful because I'm in the middle of a show. Okay, just calling me through the computer, which is why you guys can hear it. Yeah, it's like AD. Yeah, you drop your books and run. I don't think I even do that. I haven't put any book on Goodreads in a long time. So, yeah, so I'll visit it and see if I need to connect and kind of update. But I don't really spend much time on Goodreads because it hasn't been a positive experience the few times. It hasn't been a negative experience either. It just hasn't been. It's been very neutral, but only because I don't devote much time to Goodreads. I devote most of the time to Facebook, or I mean, I have stuff on Instagram. I don't even spend much time on Instagram. It's mostly on Facebook, and I talk to I'm with the mob and hanging out with the mob fam and dealing with that. And Goodreads doesn't really. I don't want to say it doesn't register, but it doesn't call my attention, and I wouldn't know what to do on Goodreads because I can interact with people more. I can interact with mob is on Facebook, so that's where I'm at. I'm gonna be where the mob is. I'm gonna be where my readers are, and they're all on Facebook. So that's the situation with Dustblader. Dustblader pulled the Mountain Strong. So I'm in the middle of Mountain Strong. I'm writing Saints and Monks. I was writing Cold Front, and Dustblader snuck up on me and blindsided me and smacked me upside the head and said, "You gotta write me now." So you gotta be kidding. I can't. No, I have Cold Front. I got this. I got that. I got a whole schedule of things. I'm looking at my production schedule. I can't be writing a brand new series with a brand new character and brand new backstory and all. Not right now. I'm busy. Like, you write me now or you don't sleep. It was that simple. So I was like, when I resisted the first time, all right, go away. I don't have no time for this idea. It's some Dustblader. I don't even know what is a Dustblader. Wait, welcome, Richard. I don't have time for a Dustblader right now. And by the way, what the heck is a Dustblader? You gotta go away. I didn't sleep for one night. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I did. This is how it happened. And I'm like, oh my God. This is what happens to writers. So this is what happens with Monty Strong. Monty Strong, I was right in the middle of Sepia Blue. I'm writing. I was in the third book of Sepia Blue, and Monty Strong came to me and it's okay. It's time to write Monty Strong. I'm like, who the hell is Monty Strong? Why would I be writing a story about you two when I'm writing a story about Sepia? And the same thing happened with Dust Bladers. Like, you got to do this now. And it's like kind of what happened with Iker, the cleaner, too. Iker was like, you're dead. You're a character that's going to die in this story. I'm sorry, I hate to inform you, but you're dying. And Iker was like, I don't think so. I'm not dying. No, that's not happening. You're misinformed. I'm a character that's going to escape this situation. And not only am I going to escape this situation, you're going to go on to write more about me. Just you wait and see. You gotta be kidding. I'm not writing anything about this character. And then I'm writing 3 stories. But those were novellas, which is good. I could actually, but yeah, I was supposed to die. And yeah. 80 says, I don't spend time in the grooves. I just make sure my backlist is up to date. I might have to do that, maybe Dottie can jump into Goodreads and do that for me. I mean, it's not like she doesn't have enough. Jeez. But I don't have much of a presence there, that's for sure. I get notifications every so often, but I don't jump into many groups. But I have books that are wide now, so maybe it makes sense for Dolly to go in and kind of do what she's saying. Is like, make sure the backlist is up to date and the new releases are there, and so forth and so on. So yeah, I'll see if she's up for that. So yeah, so now Dust Blader, I'm into this story. I'm into this. I'm in the epic final scene, and I have to end it. So one of the hardest things about writing a story is not just so much the start. The start is important. The start takes time, and you got to do it right, and you got to kind of factor in. It has to be interesting, and my whole thing. I got to get hooked by the first sentence. I'm not hooked by the first sentence, first paragraph. Not the first paragraph, the first page, not the first page, the first chapter. And if not the first chapter, I'm out, right? So I'll give an author that much. That applies to me too. If I'm writing a story and I'm not hooked by the first sentence, I have an issue. But I'll keep going, and I'll write out the first paragraph. And I'll keep. If I'm not hooked by the first paragraph, okay. If I'm having issues already, the first paragraph is messed up. But I'll push it until the first chapter, and if I can't continue the story after the first chapter as the writer, I know that as a reader, they're not going to be able to continue the story if they're not hooked by the first chapter. So my first chapter has to be, I have to really kind of nail it, I didn't have an issue with Dust Blader. Dust Blader just hit the ground running. And here I am. So I said, okay, I'll make this. So I tried to trick myself. This is only going to be a 30K book. So I get this done quick, and I can get back to Saints and Monks. And here I am at 37K. So that's my issue. These are writer issues that happen when your stories just go out of control. This is a story that's gonna feel definitely. But there's the definite ending in sight. I said 30K, and Dust Blader just laughed at me like, yeah, okay, 30K, sure. Yeah. Like when you have that old grandparent that wants to do something, you're like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. I'm getting paid by my story. That's what's happening. Saints and Monks, on the other hand, wow, it's been so much fun. Every memory I've had of growing up watching kung fu movies on Saturday afternoons has flashed back in vivid detail to my memory about when I'm writing Saints and Monks. And I thought Simon was snarky, but it's coming out that Peaches is getting really snarky too. Laura, thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, please go and join the family. That's so important. Go. Yeah, you know how I am. Family first. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello. I hope everything is working well with your body, and that you're healthy, and you're moving, your mobility, and everything is good. So thank you so much for coming in, Laura, and popping in. Jennifer says, sometimes I wish I could write, but it would take time away from reading. I completely understand that. I have to make time for both. That's the thing. I have to really make time to. I make time to write, obviously, and I make time for reading. And I'm currently still. I know her name is Genevieve something. Hold on, hold on. I would be remiss if I don't say the full name. Genevieve Cogman, and it's The Invisible Library. That's what I'm reading right now. I'm on book 2, and it's really good. So if you haven't, L3, I think I'm L3, but if I haven't, I'll do it again today. If you haven't read Genevieve Cogman, I think you'll have fun with her story. It feels at times steampunkish and very British, and kind of a mix of urban fantasy, and it's a mishmash of a lot of different genres, but it's really fun. It's a fun read. Yeah, see, here's the thing. As Simon and Peach's bond gets stronger, it seems, this is what's coming across to me, it seems as how that Peaches is adopting a bit of Simon's snark. I don't know how this is happening, but I don't write Peaches snarky. I just write Peaches as a reflection of Simon, and coming from the mind of a canine, which is very focused on, I'm hungry, I want food, give me food. That's basically, if you have a dog, you know that their brains go from I'm eating, I'm resting, using the bathroom, I'm hungry again, I'm eating, I'm resting. Oh, let's play, let me run around. And it's a very straight, it's very linear, the progress, you know? Peaches obviously has to have more thoughts than that. But at the core of everything, it's Peaches, if you notice. Oh yeah, no, but like I can't forget Frank. But Frank is pure snark. Frank is concentrated snark. But yeah, so a canine's mind is very straightforward and it's very simple, and it's like, you know, I love you, I love you, I love you. I want to spend time with you. I want to spend time with you. When is the time to eat? Oh, when is the time to go out? Okay, when is the time to eat? And so it's very straightforward. So Peaches on one level is very much a canine, but on another level, he's Simon's bondmate, hellhound. I guess you could say familiar in a way, but he's much more than just a canine, right? And he's much more intelligent than a canine. So there are many layers. He's like an onion, as he says. I'm like an onion. So there are many layers to Peaches, and so I have to express all that. But he's picking up the snark, and he's picking up the ideas, as Wendy says. He picks up the ideas from Frank, which are not very good ideas for Simon, but they are really good ideas, which is excellent. Let's see. Very cool recommendation for me too. Yeah, you should definitely listen. I try to, as an author, I'm a reader first, so you know it's important that and then my tag. If I as an author had a tagline, it would be, we support our indie authors, because we really have to. We support our indie authors. It's important. So every author that I'm reading that I'm enjoying, or you know, even when I don't enjoy them, but I think you might enjoy them, I'm gonna put them out there for you guys. So the key about Frank's ideas is Peach's implementation or presentation of Frank's ideas at the worst possible moment for Simon. That's what I love about Frank's ideas. Like Peaches will use Frank's ideas as bargaining chips, which is horrible for Simon because Peaches has leverage, and so it's like, okay, if you promise me an extra meat from the place, then I can do this. And Simon's like, what are you talking about? You got to do this now. What do you mean you want it? Well, Frank says, and it's like, are you kidding me right now? Yes, so if you've noticed in the stories, Peaches went from very simple sentences and simple sentence structures, which was deliberate, to now being able to have conversations with Simon with nuance, which is that was a deliberate change over time. And trust me when I tell you, it took a long time to get that the way it needed to be. So the nuance that's being injected into it is not because Peaches is getting smarter, it's because Simon is getting stronger, which means that his understanding of his bondmate is getting clearer. But yeah, that takes time. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. Jeez. That's why you have to be patient as a writer sometimes. And people, I remember when we first started Tumors and Butterflies, and everybody's like, no, but that's not from Peaches maturing. That's from Simon maturing and getting stronger. And that means that the bond is getting clearer for Simon. Because remember, when Peaches goes XL, he speaks at a much different level. His lexicon is already elevated, so that's already present for Peaches. But Simon can't understand it because Simon's not quite there yet. And yes, Jennifer, I love writing those scenes. Those scenes are just really fun because it's like Peaches is like a mafia loan shark type. You know, he's holding Simon hostage for something. Oh yeah, that would not be. Hey, welcome back, Chris. Chris Mendoza, resident technomancer, is in the house. Jennifer, if I've spoken to Jim, and I would never bring that up because Jim's life is whoa. But I'll put it to you like this: it's hard when you have to wait for an author. Trust me, as a reader, I know. What was the last book he wrote? I mean, prior to those last books that he wrote, which were back to back, thankfully, it was 5 years prior to that, and now we're waiting. I don't know when was the last book. I think it's been a few years since the last book, and I'm like, oh, yes, Professor XL Peaches is awesome. Yes, so much to happen with Peaches. Yeah, so I can't spoil it. I know I have so much I want to share with you about what's coming up for Peaches and Simon, but I can't. It'll spoil it for you, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But there's a lot that's going to start happening with those two because of their bond and how they grow and who they are and who they're associated with. There's just so much happening, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. But on that note, since I can't tell you that, I'm going to answer some questions. All right, because it's 12:25. We got to answer the questions. Okay, here we go. First question. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who submitted questions. You guys are awesome. Soon, TM. So the first questions are from Audrey, who is the reigning champ in questions. I don't think anyone can dethrone Audrey at this point. Audrey Sienki says, first question, Orlando, if you safely commune with an exotic animal, which one would it be? Wow, an exotic animal? I'm guessing this is a real animal, not a fictitious one, not a fantasy animal. If I could safely commune, okay, 2, a rhino, because they're just at the top of rhinos have a certain energy for me. Like nothing hunts a rhino except for humans, right? A rhino and a lion. And I actually have those 2 animals on my desk. But those 2 animals and a wolf. Those 3, I'm sorry, 3. A rhino, a lion, and a wolf. And it's interesting, I've always realized that these are top of the food chain animals and they all resonate with me. But those would be the ones I would, if I could commune with them and interact with them without harming them or harming their ecosystem or without doing any damage to them, would be those 3 animals. Dolly's not here, so I will answer for her. But she can hear. Here's the question, Dolly. What is your favorite part of the holidays? That's the question. Okay. While she's answering that, you can think she's not here. So she's got. Yeah, gray wolf. I resonate with wolves a lot. Wolves are a big deal for me. Not a lone wolf, because remember a lone wolf, when there's a pack of wolves, people don't get this much. When there's a pack of wolves, right? A lone wolf is usually a sick wolf. It's usually a wolf that's been cast aside from the pack. Wolves don't function well alone. There you go, Audrey. That's the answer. Being with family. That's the best part of the holidays. That's an awesome part of the holidays. So lone wolves aren't really, they've been romanticized and been made a big deal of, but lone wolves aren't really part of, if they're not part of the pack, there's a problem somewhere. Either they're being kicked out, or they're ill, or they're dying. So, you don't want to be a lone wolf. That's not something to glorify. A wolf is very family oriented, very pack oriented. And so That's one of the things that resonates with me about wolves. And wolves, something I learned that really kind of touched me and really resonated with me is that the younger wolves will go hunting and leave the older wolves back in the den and bring food to the older wolves when they can no longer hunt. They take care of the older wolves. It's a generational thing. So there's a lot to learn about wolves and a lot to learn from wolves. Okay, next question. So Audrey, she answered your question, being with family. Next question, Orlando, what are a couple of books that every writer should have on hand? Okay, I can tell you from I'm looking at my books right here next to me. Every book by Larry Brooks, which is Great Stories Don't Write Themselves, Story Physics, Story Fix, and Story Engineering. All those books you should have on your shelf. Every book by Stephen Pressfield, which is The War of Art, Turning Pro, and Do the Work. Certain books by James Bell, which is Plot and Structure. Let's see. There's a few others. Stephen King's On Writing is good, but it's not going to teach you how to write because you can't really write like Stephen King unless you're Stephen King. So, but those books are really important because they teach you the foundational structure. Story by Robert McKee. I don't have it here, but I have it on my other library. But these are my reference books. The Larry Brooks books. Those are really important because they teach you structure, and it's really important. So the Larry Brooks books and the James Bell books and the Stephen Pressfield books because of the resistance that you will face as a writer or as anyone who's creative. And I have the big red book of Rumi on my desk right here next to me, the big red book of Rumi, because every so often you need to stop and just get inspired and read some Rumi, and it's really important to read some Rumi. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a text from one of my Valkyries in the middle of the show. Let's see what she wants. Okay. She's giving me some notes. She wants to come to the opening, so we're gonna go a little later today. I will do that for my Valkyrie for sure. So she can do the closing. Awesome. We can go a little later because it's our last show of the year, so we're gonna extend just a bit. I hope you guys don't mind. If you have to leave, I will not take it personally, and I will, I understand if you have to go. Really. So, Audrey, this answers your questions. There were some other books coming up. Take care, Richard. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello, and have a happy holiday. Really, thanks. There were other books coming up when I started that were part of my reading adventure, but those are the ones that really made an impact on my writing, especially the Larry Brooks ones. So if you're a writer, I recommend those books. And if you really want to know, I can always just PM me and I can send you the titles and which ones they are, because they are very, very beneficial. Steep learning curve, because Larry Brooks writes very elevated. So I had to read them each one at least twice. But if you take your time, I'll put it like this. They were so important that I got them in I got them in hardcover. I got them in paperback. And mine are all like highlighted and underlined and stuff like that. So this is Story Engineering, Mastering the 6 Core Competencies of Successful Writing. So just the title alone should let you know that this is not like a quick 6 steps to writing well kind of thing. This is like, he gets really into the weeds about writing, and he deconstructs writing for you in such a way that if you could read that book and understand it, writing opens up for you. I won't say it becomes easy, it opens up for you. All right, next question. Let's see. Chris Mendoza says, if you could have any of the great muscle cars, GTO, Cobra, Mustang, etc., from back in the day, which would you pick just for yourself to drive and cruise in? My favorite would be the Camaro, the one that Gray has, which is my first car, the Camaro. 1972 Camaro, set up for racing. It was beautiful. It was a monster. And when you turned on that engine, wow, everyone heard that engine. So I would have either that or a GTO. Definitely what Simon and Monty drive. The Monty and Simon, a GTO would be fantastic to have. Only because it's a powerful car, but it's sleek and it just looks beautiful. The GTO is such a beautiful looking car. But that era of cars, muscle cars, is when cars were art for me. When they made them look like art. And so any of those cars from that era, Cobra, the Shelby era from the Mustangs, fantastic. But any of those vehicles, like right now, Dust Blader drives a 1972 Hemi Cuda. Wow, that thing is beautiful. It's a beast, but it's beautiful. So yeah, anything from that era, and then you can see why when I write, all my characters have a car like that, you know, and that's without going into the exotics, like what the older Porsches or those kind of cars that set the trends and set the edge for what people to expect in automotive amazingness. Oh yeah, I have that too. AD, you mean this one? It's amazing. And I have the other one too, right from the middle. I have all of those. Right from the middle, I have my other library. Let's see. I have Rachel Aaron's book too, 2K to 10K. Amazing. So yeah, that would be my car. Sorry to digress. I just saw the title and I bring it right away. Yeah. So those would be. Can I just say all of them, Chris? Or I would take all of them, all of them to drive and cruise around in. But definitely, the GTO and the Beast that Gray has, a Camaro for sure. All right, Ronald Fielder asks, do you have a total number of Montague and Strong books that you want to write, or will you keep on writing as long as it's still high quality and fun to write? I'm gonna say I will keep on writing as long as it's still high quality and fun to write, and as long as I'm having fun writing it. If I'm not having fun writing it, and Chris and I have discussed this a few times, if the author's not having fun writing the story, or if the author's not enjoying it, it translates into the story, and the readers pick up on it right away. I know, because when I'm writing a story, if I'm not having fun, you're not gonna have fun. If I'm not having fun writing it, you're not gonna have fun reading it. I can guarantee you, because I've read some books where I've said this author was not having a good time, and so as long as it's fun to write, as long as it's still high quality, but as long as it's still fun to write, I will write them. And if any of the tribe want to pick up and write after me and kind of like continue the story, although I think it's really hard to do. Maybe I can start introducing them to write their own stories, and then they can kind of pick up and extend the series. Then that would be awesome. I think that would be a fantastic addition to the series. I wish Rihanna had done that with Sir Terry Pratchett, but his brain was just so unique that it's really hard to follow that, because Sir Terry was a singular talent. All right, thank you for that question, Rihanna. Elizabeth Varga asks, do you have a fan cast in your head for the big leagues of who you want for M&S Universe show? Of course, yes. Ryan Reynolds for Simon, Benedict Cucumber Boy for Monty, Ian McShane for Dex, which would be awesome if I could have Ian McShane. These are living actors now, so let's see. I haven't really thought of the women because I haven't gone that far, but they would have to be amazing to be like Nana. I would definitely pick Helen Mirren for Nana because she kind of has that feel of who she would be. If you've seen Red or Red 2, the movies, she's definitely a Nana type. I haven't given, or Judi Dench. Judi Dench would be a good Nana too. Oh, yeah, Judi Dench definitely has a feel of Nana. I leave it to the mob for everyone else because the Morrigan and scary thoughts, but they have to be powerful women. because I don't write damsels in distress. So that's my the big leads and an amazing Panic Corso for beaches. Definitely have to do. Okay, great question, Elizabeth. Anthony Hudson asks, how often do your characters go rogue when you're in the middle of writing something? All I have to say is dust. Like they react completely different than whatever you planned, and now you have to rewrite. I don't think I've ever had a complete rewrite situation. Ooh, Mads Mikkelsen is a good pick, for sure. Yeah, I like Mads. You see what's happening with my brain? How I can read something, pick up something, answer something. This is what happens in my brain all the time when I'm writing. That's what a scary author brain is like. I've never had to do an actual rewrite where the characters have acted so out of character that they've caused me to rewrite something. I don't think that's ever been the case. They have done things that have been deeper insights into their character, but not gone against their character. So they haven't reacted differently in the sense of they would never do this. And I hear that. It's funny when I hear readers say, Monty would never say that. But really, you know Monty that well. Wow, it's amazing since he lives in my head. But they have reacted deeper, giving me deeper insights to what they would say. Well, I wouldn't rewrite per se, but I would definitely add to what they said. Morena Baccarin is not a bad idea. I can see it. I could see it, Paige. Real. Yeah, she's really good. I was also thinking Anna de Armas for somebody, but I can't see who she would be. Because she has that really childlike face. She's really good. She was really good in Bond. Okay. So I hope that answered your question, Anthony. It doesn't happen often. They don't go rogue. My characters don't go rogue. They go feral, which means they want more of the story. But usually I can kind of rein that in. Going rogue completely when they do things that I would never do, no, that doesn't really happen. They just let me know more. Brian Cox is also a good call for Dex. I've always had kind of Ian McShane and Brian Cox. Both would work. I think Brian Cox more because of the body type. Because Ian McShane's a little thinner. Brian Cox is a little like stockier and kind of fits Dex more in terms of his his body type. Yeah. Let's see what else. Okay, Chris says, have you ever cart surfed across a parking lot to your car? Yes, many times. When I went to Costco, I used to do it when the kids were smaller. I put them in, and then they fit in the carts. They no longer fit in the carts. We do it all the time. My wife yells at me for it, but I was pleased last night to see a guy that swiftly cart surfed past me, smiling. I'm like, you got to take the little pleasures when you can. That's for sure. Definitely. Yes, cart surfing is it's a dying art. You got to do it when every chance you get, the cart surf. Just cart surf responsibly. That's all. Yeah. So those are the questions. I think those are all the questions. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, now would be the time. We always open the floor for questions. It's kind of open until we end the show. So if you have any questions that come to mind right now, please feel free to drop them in here. But yeah, so that's the situation with the story. In terms of characters going rogue, which kind of stuck with me the most. And I want to kind of get back to AD's books, AD's recommendations. Characters don't really go rogue. I think here's the thing, and this is something that John Logsdon shared with me very early on when I was still writing Twin Yards and Butterflies. And I've shared it on since because it's great. It's a great exercise for authors, right? If you're a writer, if you're an author, and you want to get to know your characters more, deeper, so they don't go rogue, right? Because I think going rogue is basically you don't know them well enough yet. So that you won't ever know them well, just don't know them well enough yet. So that your characters don't go rogue on you. Take your characters and put them in mundane situations. Have them go to the store and do some grocery shopping. Have them do laundry. Like write these things out. Have these moments, little moments where they gotta go do laundry, or they have to go shop. They have to walk the dog. Just things that are mundane. what that does for you as an author, better than these dossiers that people tell you to write, like what's their favorite color, and what's their favorite food, better than all of that, when you start putting them in mundane situations, and I did it with Simon and Monty and sending them together, and I had them go get coffee at a coffee shop, very similar to a Starbucks type thing, right? And just a basic situation. And what you do when you do that with your characters is that you start to learn the little idiosyncrasies that they may have, the little ticks that they have in the way they speak, in the way they sit, and these things that they do outside of a story. This is just who they are as as people, as individuals. What that does for you as an author later on is that you start incorporating these things into the story, and it humanizes them so that they're not cardboard cutouts. They become three-dimensional for your reader, and they may have things that they do that, hey, I do that sometimes, or and you start developing these little things that are very important. you know yeah, that's one of the issues, Jennifer. That's one of the problems with them, that every time they go to a coffee shop it explodes, especially if it's James the butcher's coffee shop. He's kind of tired of that nonsense. But you know, it helped me get to know them. This is before they had explosive tendencies, and you get to, as an author, really get to know your character so they don't go rogue on you. They can't go rogue on you because you're kind of anticipate, if I don't develop this the right way, they're going to want to develop it in a different way than the way I want it to go. And so, yes, you give them leeway as characters, but also you have to rein it in, or else the story will never end. And that's an issue with a lot of authors, and especially aspiring authors. I'm not a big fan of the word aspiring. That the character wants to do this, or the character wants to do that, and I can't end the story because the character keeps thinking in a different direction. No, no. You have to, at some point, no story is ever done. Every story that I finished. Every book that's been finished is not done. I can always go back and add more to a book without question. But that doesn't mean that you have to continually write and write and write and write, because then that's just fear. Fear of you putting your stuff out there, and fear of you making a commitment to the story, and fear of you getting this. It's time to push those those eaglets out of the nest and let them soar. So you gotta get the stories out. Publish, produce, ship, get it out there, and then get to the next story. You know, in regards to AD's books, the Emotion Thesaurus is really good. They have a whole series. Bella and Becca. I'm sorry, it's Becca and Angela Ackerman and Puglisi. Right? Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. They have a whole series of things of books. I'm sorry, not things, books that are fantastic for authors. So if you're an author, they're great resources. James Scott he's another resource that if you're an author, you want to read James Scott's books, because he distills the foundational parts. His nonfiction, I haven't read any of his fiction, although I own it, but I haven't read it. But his nonfiction is really, really resourceful for starting authors and veteran authors, especially the starting authors. That right from the middle is really good. He has a few pattern structure. He has is fantastic. Superstructure, I believe, is another one of Bell's that's excellent. Rachel Aaron's 2K to 10K. If you want to know how to supercharge your writing sprints, like you want to write a lot in a short amount of time, Rachel Aaron's excellent for that, because she will streamline it for you so that you can read. I'm sorry, well, you can write, and you can condense all that writing into like a short time span. So she's fantastic. Yeah. All right, let's see. If you guys have any questions, Bob's comments. Okay. Okay, Bob. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put that up there. Okay, hiding it. I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, so Bob's Bar, Tales from the Multiverse, Barry Hutchinson. Oh, Barry Hutchinson is really funny. You should read him. Craig Martello, Mike Donnelly, at this point is a publishing empire, so he has books everywhere. He has hundreds and hundreds of books, and he has books. He has what is it? I guess it's a byline, co-author. I guess it's co-author. He has co-author, or he has his name on so many books because he helps authors get published. I don't know if he gives. I don't know what the process is. I haven't spoken to Michael in a long time since the last time I was at 20 Books of UK. I don't know what the process is now with Michael. I don't know if he sits down and has a brainstorming session with them, or if he's doing the James Patterson kind of thing, just puts his name on the books and helps them get out there. So I don't know what his involvement is, but Michael went from an author to a publishing empire. He's really just basically, I don't know if he's just publishing books at this point. I don't even know if he writes again, but he's a great guy. He just, he was really beneficial and helpful to me when I first started out. He was willing to sit down and talk with me. And he was already busy when I started. He sat down with me and kind of gave me a lot of pointers and said, listen, this is what you need to do, this is how you can do it, and some ideas, and he was available to me, which is really important. So Michael's good in that regard. He's a great guy to talk to. I don't know if I can talk to him now. He's so busy. So he's running like 400 books a year. I think he's doing. It's insane what he's trying to do, but he's doing it, and he's a good example for that. This is a bunch of authors, write their characters in the same bar. That's a great idea. That's like doing like Rick's Cafe kind of thing. Like, have a neutral place, have the characters come in and tell their story. I think that's a great idea. Who wrote that? Who wrote about the bar? That's a fantastic idea. Jennifer Bowden's Bar. I'll look it up. Sounds interesting. Someone's pinging me, poking me, or something. I don't know. I get these sounds, and I'm like, where's the sound coming from? What's happening? So yeah, my close is coming. She's coming. She's here. She's 2 minutes away. I got the message. So she's really dying to close the show, which is awesome. And she's growing so big. My God. If we go back to the early episodes of the Kaffeeklatsch, you'll see a very small Zoya, barely able to do the closing or have to prompt her to do it. Now, geez, she's like almost my height. It's crazy. Is that her? And that's her. So, okay, you want to come in? Don't beat up Peaches. You don't have to say. I mean, we're gonna close. It's 1:50. Okay. Oh, geez, I gotta raise the camera. Look how tall she is. Hold on, look. Here we go. There you go. No, the camera's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to MoB Kaffeeklatsch, episode 133. Have a good weekend and happy holidays.
Awesome. We didn't close yet, but okay. But you said it really well. The other Valkyrie wants to show her face? Oh my God. You want to angle the camera, you don't have to move much. That's the other Valkyrie. Take care, AD. I hope your short does really well. And thank you for popping in and saying hello and sharing with the books and things like that. Let me put up Bob's bar link because why not? Awesome. All right, guys, we've come to the end of the show and to the end of the show for this year, to the MoB Kaffeeklatsch this year. Wow, that's it's amazing. We're on episode 133. So I want to wish you a happy holiday and that you may spend it with your family and spend it warm and in the best of times, especially now things that some people are not doing so well, but may your holiday be really, really good, surrounded by people you love, and if you have fur babies and your little fur babies as well, and may you have a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. We won't be back until January 3rd, which is the first Kaffeeklatsch of 2025. Wow. Yeah, she's getting so big. My God. All right, guys, take care. And remember the 3 B's, right? Be kind. Be unstoppable. I'm not wearing the shirt right now. And be uncommon. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I know it was a big group because, it happens sometimes that things are all over the place. But I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank you all for just sharing and hanging out. Sammy, welcome and goodbye. Thank you for every one of you for being here. It's fantastic. It was a great show today, and I want to wish you all a happy weekend. Have a great weekend. It's they're just starting their big school breaks. It's winter break now, so there's no school for like weeks. So it's gonna be fun. And the warrior comes home today. I get to pick him up from the train, so that's gonna be fun. Have a great day, guys. Take care. I'll be seeing you in the room, and we'll be back on January 3rd. You want to say goodbye? Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. We're not gonna do any music today because we're already running late. But I'll just put one real quick, and StreamYard changed the thing again. So I'm going to change this, and I'm gonna pick the closing.